What is going on, everybody, man? Welcome to another edition of Heart of the City 131, man. I'm your host, Unpopular Opinion Sports, with my co-host, Coach Ed from Coach Ed Sports, and bringing you Heart of the City, man. But it's a lot going on in the city right now. Of course, coming off the New York Knicks championship. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the NBA draft, which is going on right now. You got the Nets doing things. You got the Knicks not doing a lot of things. We'll talk about that. Giants and Jets, we're going to talk a little bit about them, man. The Yankees, of course. Baseball starting to heat up. Yankees, Mets. We're going to get into that. NHL draft coming up, I believe, Friday. So we're going to talk a little bit of NHL news. Of course, we got Coach's segment and Coach's Corner, all that and much more. So please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button for Unpopular Opinion Sports and the Aboriginal Sports Network. Got my bro Pat on the turntables in the back, handling producer roles. So we got a full show ready for you, man. But before I do that, man, Coach, what's good with you, man? How you feeling, bro? Chat, how y'all feeling out there? And NYC coming off a chip, baby. Let's get it.
Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. You know how I go, man. Just chilling, taking it day by day. And again, we talking New York City. So the draft is right now, and we're going to get a little bit into that in just a little bit. But let's hit the intro. Let y'all get yourself together. Kick back, relax. It's Heart of the City. Let's go.
Ricey K, the Raisin Man.
All right, man. Coming right back at it, man. Yo, Coach, man. We was on the call last week for the Knicks Spurs. And the Knicks winning that chip. You know, I was out there at the parade, and it was a lot of people. It was a lot going on, and it was a big celebration in New York City. But, you know, you been a diehard Knicks fan. You know, I'm, of course, a supporter of the team, not necessarily a fan, but you are the Knicks fan on this show. How are you feeling, man? Like, talk to us, Coach, man. What's good, man? Before we get into Heart of the City, man, I want to know. I really want to know, like, how do you feel about this Knicks champ? We've been waiting 53 years for this, man.
I mean, in some regards, I'm ecstatic. I'm happy, but in the same token, the coach kicks in me, and I'm like, I'm on to the next year, ready, because I want to see if we can get, what we can do to see if we can position ourselves to go back to back. Because, right now it's been, 8 straight teams and no one's going back to back. So can the Knicks break that? So, but I mean, as far as, the longevity, I mean, let's be real. Like you said, 53 years, man. I mean, there are generations of people who, have passed on who would have loved to have seen this, man. 53 years. That's, I've known some people, who aren't here anymore, and that they were younger than this. So it's a long time. This city needed it. It really did. I love all the stories I'm hearing about how you had a lot of goodwill, in a sense, like everyone was coming together. It didn't matter what it was. I'm even hearing during the celebration, Cops was letting people do whatever, man. And as long as you're not going.
They look, man. This dude fell off the scaffold, right? And the cops was just sitting there like, yo, they was just like, they were like chilling. They were laughing. They were joking. They were like not really worried about, pressing any type of issues or anything like that. And I've been around New York City cops. You know what I'm saying? They got a reputation, but it wasn't like that at that parade.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the city has come together and people are just ecstatic. They're happy. I mean, my man Turk, I know he moved out of Brooklyn years ago, but he was on TikTok. He's like, man, 53 years. He was just ecstatic, and he even said, "Now I miss being in Brooklyn because I want to be around the city and the atmosphere because of the Knicks winning the championship." And look, you always talk about New York as a basketball town, and this proved it right here. You don't see that. You didn't see this with the Mets. You didn't. I mean, with the Yankees or the Mets back in '86. Or even the Giants. I mean, I know some fans feel out of touch because the Giants technically are in Jersey, but still represents New York, and everyone is tied into the basketball. It just doesn't matter because like you always say, basketball is the easiest thing that people can play, and it doesn't matter. You doctor, lawyer, you go into the gyms or out on the basketball courts, and you pick up and you play, and you're so right, man. I mean, it's not a lot of football fields. I mean, there are some, but it's not to the magnitude in other places where people can just pick up and go play. So but basketball, yeah, everybody can pretty much tap into that. So
definitely, man. And like I said, it was lit up there. Shout out to my brothers, man. Shout out to the Knicks fans. And we're going to get into this draft. We're going to get into around the city. And look, man, I'm not throwing no shade at all at my Brooklyn Nets. Although they are doing some dumb things, I'm still a Net. I'm still with Brooklyn. But I mean, it's New York, man. Like you said, we waited 53 years to bring that thing home. You know what I'm saying? A basketball town. The Nets had an opportunity to do it with KD, Kyrie, James Harden. He couldn't get it done. So that's that. But let's get into around the city. Going to hit these blocks. Let's see what our teams, let's see what's going on in around the city, man. Let's hit it.
I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Said I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, the love and respect first.
All right, man. Let's get into around the city. Go and hit the blocks here real quick, man. And so we got a game going on. And we're going to start there. So let's go to the New York Mets.
New York Mets.
All right. Mets down right now. 8-5 to Pat's Cubbies. And poor Mets, man. And shout out to Snarf, but this Mets team is bad. I mean, they're god awful. 34-45. And again, lost 4 in a row. I mean, not much I can really say about these Mets, man. It's just, when y'all gonna get it together? You know, we just talked about the Knicks, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later in the coaching segment, man. But this Mets team, like, they got to get it together. You know, we let some of these teams off the hook because some of the other teams have been better, like the Yankees, shit like that. So, speaking of, let's go to them damn Yankees. See what's up with them.
New York Yankees.
All right, Yankees beat the Tigers 4-2. Ryan Weathers getting a dub there. And they beat Skubal. Skubal's been on the market for the Tigers. So Bednar getting the save there. But this Yankees team is starting to play well. They're actually playing well without Aaron Judge. Who in the hell knew? Like, who really knew? This team right here, not too shabby. And let's hope that the Yankees can keep it up and we can get possibly a baseball championship, man. But again, back to basketball. Let's go to the Nets.
Brooklyn Nets.
All right, so mixed reviews on the 2 Nets draft picks of Mikal Brown Jr. and Joshua Jefferson. They did make a pick here in the second round. We'll get into all that a little bit later. But that is the big thing right here. This is what the Nets are starting with here going into 2026. Starting with the draft, of course, the NBA offseason starts with the draft, unlike the NFL. So this is basically the start of their offseason, and this is what they're starting with: Mikal Brown Jr. and Joshua Jefferson, a 4. We'll look at them a little bit later, but it's mixed reviews because, again, Mikal Brown Jr. is going to be compared to Darius Acuff, and they're going to be forever linked. The Kings, of course, taking Acuff a pick later at 7. So I'm rooting for Mikal Brown Jr. and Joshua Jefferson. Of course, I'm rooting for the Nets to be a much better team. But this is going to be interesting to see how these two guys play out and who ends up really being the better player. Again, but on to the Knicks.
New York Knicks.
All right. The Knicks here. Close that. So the Knicks' whole strategy has been staying under that second apron. Coach, you know, we talked about it. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But that was their plan, basically, for this draft. And they traded down several times, the Knicks did. And then they took a kid out of Germany, Jack Khalil, 39th overall. So Fran Frasillas says athletic, strong, improving IQ as a guard, playing in a really good league. So we'll see. He's 6'3", like I said, 6'4", something like that, 20 years old. The Knicks can develop him. Obviously, they got a lot of depth on that team. And we'll see how it plays out, man. But all right, Coach, shout out to you. Got some hockey for us. Let's get to hockey.
NHL.
Simon Nemec traded to the Calgary Flames. Nemec is a defenseman for the Devils. So he goes to Calgary in exchange for a conditional 2027 first round pick and a conditional 2028 first round pick and a 2026 second round pick and Etienne Morin. So those are the details of the deal. I'll put that up there so you guys can see. But so the NHL draft, I believe, is Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So these teams are getting ready, and it's going to be a lot of moving and shaking in the NHL. Let's go to the Islanders. Islanders hired Stanley Cup winner Pascal Dupuis as director of player development. The team announced Tuesday. 47 years old. Spent the last 3 seasons in the front office of the Shawinigan Cardiacs. That's a word for you. But anyway, so he'll take over the Islanders in the player development department, and the Islanders are going to need that because, that Eastern Conference is stacked. You know, you just got the Carolina Hurricanes, of course, winning the cup there. Let's go to the Rangers. And the Rangers, most of their news has been about Vincent Trocheck, still looking to move him. Haven't made any progress, apparently. I think they want to move a player like this before the draft if they're trying to get assets. That's just my personal opinion, with no real intel there. But yeah, if they're going to get him out of there, get him out of there. I mean, what are you waiting on? You know, what are you waiting on? The Rangers have been disappointing to me. I got expectations for the Rangers. Don't get it twisted. I am a hockey fan. I just not dedicated like that. But these Rangers got to get it together. You know, they won in '94 when the Knicks couldn't. Now the Knicks winning, and y'all stinking the bed. So I'm all fair in NYC when it comes to New York. I'm all fair. So I got to put pressure on them too. Rangers, get it together, trade Trocheck, and get what you're going to get and start to build this team. But that's all I got for Around the City, and let's get back to it.
I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Said I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, the love and respect first.
All right, man. Back to it here. So, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the draft here, and I'm gonna pull up this. I'm gonna pull up some clips here in just a second, but we talked about staying under that second apron. And we talk a little bit about some of the players that the Knicks might be trying to bring back. What's your opinion on that? Do you think that's the right approach? Do you want to see them bring back some of these players? And do you think they should? You know, we could talk about Mitchell Robinson, Shamit, Alvarado. We talking about guys like that. Of course, none of the top players. But more depth. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I do think the Knicks need to really take a hard look at Mitchell Robinson. First and foremost, what's the money going to cost? Because once you go into that second apron, now you can do that for your own players. But what it does is it hinders you for, getting other players. For example, if players are bought out and they're on the free agent market, you're hindered from really being involved in trying to sign players like that. But because you did win the championship, you saw Boston do it. You even saw OKC do it. Yes, they do it for 1 year and then they make moves to get back under the threshold, because if you stay on it too long, then it becomes more punitive. It even freezes your draft picks. But it's made for you to go ahead and, if you've won the championship, see if you can try and win and run it back. But then you got to quickly get back under it. Now, as far as signing Mitchell Robinson, you've even spoken up of how important of a player he is to the Knicks and what he brings to the table. He may not be a starter, but he does bring a defensive mindset. Offensive rebound is elite. Now, you're not going to get a lot of offensive gain from him, and his free throw is a problem. But that's what you got to really weigh, and what is out there in comparison. Are you going to bring in someone who is more similar to Karl Anthony Towns? Are you losing something on the defensive end? What are you getting there? Landry Shamet, we saw what he did in the playoffs for the most part. He was a key contributor, so yes, you do want to sit back and you want to consider bringing him back. But, on the flip side, number one, you just re-signed Diawara. Diawara is taller than him, but in a sense, he kind of plays the similar position. He's a wing player. At 6'10", 6'11", he can shoot the three. He can guard defensively. He has good handle. So, he gives you a little bit more than Shamet. And of course, it's probably around the same money because they signed him, I think it was 3 year at 10.5. So, now I did see one report that Shamet might get as high as 11 million. Now, if you're getting that, it's something you have to really think about. So you also have Pakam Dadier on the bench, who's a former first-round draft pick, but he hasn't cracked the rotation. Is he ready? So these are some of the things that they have to look at. And of course, what they're doing in the draft, they're moving back. If they are going to bring guys up, it will move guys up because they're expecting to lose other guys. Then you want to replenish that because you want to still have some type of quality or some type of depth on your bench there. So my opinion, it's Mitchell Robinson. I put a higher premium on the big man and what he brings. Now, if you can bring someone in who maybe he gives you more offensively, but not as much defensively as Mitchell Robinson, but he's adequate, then I'm like, okay, then you can do that. As far as Landry Shamet, they both bring something to the table. So, but it's what are they going to give you something steady over the table? What you're going to get with Mitchell Robinson. Landry Shamet, he can be very inconsistent. He can be streaky, but then he can be on. You're going to lose Clarkson. That's a given. Jose Alvarado, he has a player option for $4.5 million. So, and they have to wait until the 29th. He has until the 29th to tell the Knicks what he's going to do. So that's why this draft. Right now it's like, what did the Knicks do? They've been pushing. They've been pushing back because that saves them money. I heard one report. I think it was I forgot his name, but Bobby Marks, where he said because the Knicks traded out of the first round, they saved up to like $5 million.
Yeah, they did save up to $5 million, coach, and they have made 3 second round picks here.
Mm-hmm. They got a center from Virginia.
They're gonna the first pick they made, of course, was traded to Houston, but then they came back and the Knicks selected with the guy Jack Kaleo from Germany. So shout out to you. I know you like your German. So but he's a guard, 6'5" out of Germany, combo guard. So you got something there. And then they selected Tyler, I believe is Bilodeau from UCLA, 6'9". Oh no, never mind. That's the Nets pick. My bad. The guy from right here from with the Rockets, the trade that they made, they drafted a center. Uganda.
Onyenso.
Okay. And again, talking about a rim protector. He was a second leading shot blocker with 2.9 per game in the NCAA. So again, and Virginia's always been known as being a tough defensive team. They run that type of program over there. I know, close to that school. But so we're talking about Mitchell Robinson possibly on the move. Again, these picks ain't nothing burgers, man. Even though they second round picks and teams don't value them as much, still have to consider that. So they get two players here in the second round, and we'll see what they do there as far as developing them and bringing them along, with some of the other players. Now, Darnell T, what's good with you, man?
They also have 47 that came from Phoenix. They got the small forward Tyler Nickel from Vanderbilt.
Okay, Tyler Nickel. I thought that pick was traded.
Yeah, no, they had originally they had 31, 47,
and
55.
Okay. So
they traded 31 and 55 for 39 and 53.
And he's a shooter, a 3-point shooter. So you're talking about a guy like Shamet possibly being on the move. I mean, that's your one of your top 3-point shooters coming off the bench. So
that's telling me they're preparing if they can't, bring him back. What you do, you're moving up other guys, or look, you can also trade Pacom Dadier. You still have Tim Jimison on the bench. He's serviceable. You still have Kolek, unless they decide to also trade him, which I don't know, if they are. Like I've heard conflicting stories. So right now it's Dolan said he wants to be under the apron. That's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a team that's really trying to, keep themselves under the apron as much as possible. And then you go from there with your veterans, and maybe you bring Mitchell Robinson back. Maybe it's Landry Shamet, but you may also lose both of them. And, these young guys, I mean, I'm not expecting them to come in and be key contributors, but maybe they bring something.
Oh, they traded that guy. Never mind. They traded him to the Pistons for more money. The center. They just traded him. Shams reported. Yeah, never mind.
And that was the other thing. They got quite a few in trades, cash consideration. So they haven't said
all these trades have been like cash consideration.
So that means that's money that's coming in that, hey, maybe they are loading up to make sure they cover themselves, because the cash consideration, that if I understand correctly, that brings you down off further away from the apron. So, so I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will see. Now to the Nets. look, man, what the Nets are doing is, I mean, they're trying to be competitive next year. And that being said, they pass on Acuff and they take Mikal Brown Jr., 6'4" guard out of Louisville. We talked about it a little bit yesterday on the switch. We talked about it a little bit yesterday on the draft stream. But look, they're gonna be forever linked, coach, as far as Acuff and Mikal Brown Jr. Now, you got all those guards you drafted last year. Yegor, Nolan Traore, Ben Saraf. You know, you got Drake Powell still over there. So, and then you let the Celtics get Chris Sinak from you, who they were scouting. I was reported. They were looking at that cat. And they settled with Joshua Jeffries. Or Joshua Jefferson, I should say. I just, to me, this just seemed like a team that's just, they one of those people, they just go and play the lotto every day, no matter what, just hoping to win something with no real plan about how to execute and get some long-term type money. They just, all right, I hope I hit this lotto today. Let's just throw more shit at the dartboard. Let's put another $1 down on black type shit. Coach, I'm sick of this fucking team, man. They don't have no real fucking direction. You don't have a big man on your roster right now outside of Day'Ron Sharpe, I believe. Clowney's like 6'9", 6'10", I think. And you got a lot of point guards and guards. And then you got Randall and Michael Porter Jr., two dudes that like to just shoot a lot and don't play much defense, if any. You got rid of Nick Claxton, who was your best defender. He was damn near Defensive Player of the Year, I believe, a couple years ago. He was in the running for it. What the fuck are they doing, man? Like, what is this team doing? And they take another forward in the second round. They take another forward in the second round. This kid, Tyler Billendo, that's who I was talking about earlier. That was the trade. Of course, Isaiah Evans, guard who can score out of Duke, he goes with the 33rd pick. That you traded in the trade up in the first round to get that forward, and then you take another 4, another 6'8" guy, Pat, 6'8", the 6'8" Nets. Did they not look at the fucking finals and see Wembanyama and Karl Anthony Towns in the finals? You can't win. Look, man. No direction. I'm off my rant, though. Mikal Brown Jr. Let's hear from this kid a little bit, and let's see what I'm gonna focus on the Nets here a little bit tonight because this is the draft. This is their NBA Finals. So let's hear from Mikal Brown Jr. Bring that up. I got it. This shit is ridiculous.
So you're joining a Nets team now, obviously with Julius Randle now after the trade last night, and also having Michael Porter Jr. How do you feel about joining two veterans like that, and what do you expect to bring playing with them?
Yeah, I think it's great. Obviously, you want to soak up as much knowledge as possible. As a young player coming into this league, to be able to ask them and pick their brain on a lot of things, and to be able to play alongside them, it's going to mean the world to me. And we're going to try to bring a chip.
So you're joining a Nets team now, obviously.
All right, man. So this kid comes in and he gets to play with Julius Randle and Michael Porter Jr. What are your thoughts about the pick? What are your thoughts about the direction of the Nets? Because I want to get your opinion because I'm just dug into like the emotional side of it because I'm just like I said, I'm just sick of the bullshit with this team and they just letting this fucking dude Sean Marks run this shit into the shitter, like complete shitter. What's your thoughts?
First of all, I have to look at your head coach. What is your head coach's philosophy? What is his strategy? Offensively and defensively. Do these players fit into what he's trying to do on both sides of the ball? What is he? Is he more defensive based? Is he a 5-out type of offense? Does he prefer to have someone down in the low box that you can play inside out? Is it more of a motion offense? Does he want someone in a high post?
With
so
kind of like what you seen with Cat Towns, and without getting into too much detail like that.
No, I got you.
So it's like
so you got the Princeton cut
a lot
in
of
the back door,
pick and roll at the high post. Your big man is going to be doing a lot of handling the ball as far as passing and making decisions and playmaking.
Mike Brown was doing in Sacramento, and he's trying to instill it here.
And I think that dude coached over there too. Coached in Sacramento, and
he coached with Brown. No, they were together in Sacramento. So, again, it just comes down to that. Now in terms of what you were saying, I mean, last year all the guards that you saw them pick, and it's like logically you would say, well, you would try to at least bring at least one true low post player who can play that facilitation role. So, I mean, I know you guys did pick one center or big man last year, but like you said, I mean, now whatchamacallit, Claxton is not that type of a center.
Claxton
can't play
is
that.
On the Bulls.
No, what I'm saying, he didn't play. He couldn't play in that high post, and plus he's also not a threat to shoot from out there. So
that's the thing. He can pass the ball. Yeah, he can. Yeah, he's a decent player. His shot wasn't there.
So that's in his Day'Ron Sharpe. Is he that? Can he shoot from the outside? That at least can keep. So to your argument, it's like what are you doing? Yeah, it's you want to play positionless offense nowadays. I mean, everyone talks about it, and a lot of times you want to have guys of similar size. I mean, we can say what we want about San Antonio, but outside of Wemby, they're all about the same size. When you really think about it, because we even said it, they don't have a power forward. That's what hurts them. So now Wemby makes up because he's so tall, and and he has great length. But when you look across the league, to be honest with you, a lot of teams are like that. You don't have That's why when teams say the double bigs, it's like, we grew up in the era like y'all talking about double bigs. This is normal basketball to us, but you don't see teams like Cleveland. Everyone else had, even the Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns 7 foot, and then you have OG who's 6'7".
Yeah.
So it's a catch-22, but it goes back to, as far as your GM, is he, here's the word, aligned with your head coach in terms of bringing in the players so your head coach can instill and execute his system. And it doesn't sound like it, listening to you and a couple of other Nets fans, that's what he's doing.
They got Mikal Brown Jr. Now I think this kid can be a good player. You know what I'm saying? For the Nets, he's gonna have to run the offense. Of course, you're gonna be just throwing the ball to Porter Jr. and Randall, just jacking up shots. So that's I think that's what his team is at. Look, they drafted Danny Wolf last year. Okay, so Danny Wolf is 6'11", 6'10", 6'11". Day'Ron Sharpe about 6'10", 6'11". That's what you got. Wolf is a developing player. He showed signs last year. And Day'Ron Sharpe is more of a defensive rebounding type of force. He's not out there shooting threes and doing anything like that. You know what I'm saying? He's an inside paint player. He's going to get rebounds, putbacks, and I mean he's good at what he does, but he's not that dude. So unless they plan on turning Danny Wolf into that, where is that guy at as far as your five is concerned? You just got a bunch of fours.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm scratching my head at, and with this team. We'll see what they do in free agency. Of course, thank God they don't have to give Austin Reeves a whole bunch of money. The Lakers did that for you. So disappointing with that team right there, man. But let's talk about let's get into some football stuff, man. So I didn't talk anything about it on Around the City because the news is really slow right now. We are in the off season, of course, but you did send me this, and I think this is interesting right here. So I'm going to kick it to the Jets, and let's talk a little bit about the New York Jets here. We're going to show some love to the Jets, the Mets, and the Nets, the Ets teams. Jets right tackle Armando Membu determined to get better. Why am I bringing this up? Why is this a thing here? Because if the Jets are to do anything, their offensive line, I think, is going to have to play at a top 10, top 5 type of level. Because you're going to be heavy reliant on the running game. You don't have even though, Geno's decent, nobody's going to kill Geno after, even though he had a down year with the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? He's much better than what the Jets had going on last year. So I'm not going to kill him there. But he's an average quarterback at best. At his best. So you're going to be leaning a lot on your defense and your running game. And this Jets offensive line is a huge part of that. And Jets right tackle, first round pick last year, Armando Membu, he has to be better. He has to be better. What are your thoughts on the Jets offensive line, Coach? Of course, you know you love your sexy fatties, as you call them. What's your thoughts on this Jets offensive line, and what do you think? What do you think Armand Membu can do here? Do you see some improvement?
As far as the Jets offensive line, you said it. It's key to everything they need to do offensively. In the run game, you know, you got to open up the running lanes for Hall and Allen. You know, that sets up your play action. You know, that helps in your pass game. That allows you to get the football down the field, whether it's to your receivers or your tight ends. You know, you also have to be mindful that, you know, look, you just drafted a tight end. So, you know, you do have some offensive weapons that if your offensive line can give your quarterback the time and open up the run lanes, you know, your offense can be a lot more productive than, you know, the typical Jets that we've seen in the past. So, Membo being a young player, yeah, he has to get better. I mean, and that's typical with all young players, especially on the offensive line. It usually takes offensive linemen throughout the course of time about 3 years to get comfortable, and then you start to see their game grow and expand. So, and Membo, you know, being that he's a tackle, you know, you need him to grow and you need him to develop. And it doesn't matter if he's the left side or the right side. He's still at a tackle. And, you know, look, you want to try and keep the quarterback clean as much as possible. He needs to be able to know how to get into his sets and know how to, you know, ride and wash any edge rushers or anyone in that response in that ilk. And then, you know, in the run game, you know, whether you're running a zone or, you know, any type of a gap scheme, whatever the case may be, he needs to be able to handle his blocks accordingly and control it. So the running backs can read off of him, and, you know, and he has to work in conjunction with his guard, you know, so, you know, you all have to be on the same page. You have to see the same things when you're out there blocking. So, yeah, he definitely has to develop. He does have the tools. You know, I will say that he does have the tools to be able to go out there and continue to develop. And, you know, if you give him the right coaching, who knows? The sky's the limit for this young man.
Yeah, I agree, man. You know, the Jets, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the Jets can do something this year. Like I don't think they can. I'm not gonna say they're a playoff team. I'm just gonna say, like, if you're Aaron Glenn, you know, you're building a solid baseline of a team. Now, a lot's going to hinge on what you get from the quarterback play, and is he going to turn back into a pumpkin and be what he was last year with the Raiders and turn the football over and just not playing well? Or can you get what you got out of him and when he went to Seattle and, you know, he took that team to the playoffs? You know, although they won a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold, Geno was there, you know, to get them going. So it's about what you're going to get there. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm looking at it. What's good? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Nimar. What's good with you, man? Appreciate you tapping in. Thoughts on Tyler Nickel? Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Nimar. It's a developmental player that the Knicks can stash if they lose some of their top bench players like Shamet, Alvarado, and Mitchell Robinson. Charles, what's good, man? Appreciate you, man. Definitely hit that like button. Thanks for tapping in, man. Salute to you. All right. Let's talk a little Giants here. Not much going on there, but Um,
All right, Charles. Hot night in paradise.
so we talked a little bit about this on Giants Conversation, man, as far as Calvin Austin, and the impact he could possibly make on the Giants. The Giants wide receiver room is crowded enough that one strong camp stretch can make the whole board wobble. And that's Calvin Austin III, because he kept coming up in these camp reports, coach, in these mini camps, these training camps, OTAs, whatever you call them. He kept coming up as far as the chemistry he has with Jackson Dart. Now, I want to take you guys back to Wan'Dale Robinson last year and how Wan'Dale exploded, and it got him a big contract over there with the Tennessee Titans. Of course, Brian Dable had a lot to do with that, but he still, had a market, and that got Jackson Dart going. Now, and I do believe Jackson Dart likes to rely on, like Pat says, the middle of the field with those layered throws. And this is a guy right here who feasts off the middle of the field, and Calvin Austin III. He can also bring you special teams ability. Now, we talk about it a lot. A lot of people are psyched up on these wide receivers as far as Juju and Odell Beckham Jr. and Malik Neighbors. Coach, I'm going to kick this to you. If Malik Neighbors is healthy, which some people are reporting that he might be good to go for the start of the regular season, that's going to put a lot of roster spots in jeopardy for a lot of these guys and a lot of these players that the Giants have brought in as far as free agents is concerned. Who am I talking about? Odell Beckham Jr., Juju Smith-Schuster, and Berrios, and Darnell Mooney. Because this guy right here, I think he's making the roster, bro. I think it's a lot. Like I said, special teams ability. He's gonna play that slot role unless some of these other guys beat him out and just kill that slot role, because none of these other cats are really offering you, other than Berrios, offering you what he can give you on special teams. So if you go on 6 receivers, Neighbors, Slayton, Austin now, and you're gonna have Malachi Fields on your roster. It ain't a lot of other spots there, because I was operating when we did the kind of the projection. I was operating under the projection that Neighbors was going to be unavailable for the start of the regular season, and you could possibly slide one of these other cats on the roster to start the season and then move them maybe to the practice squad a little bit later. I don't know now. If Neighbors is healthy, Neighbors, Fields, Slayton, and Austin. Who else? Talk to me.
First thing I'm going to ask you is, who would be what I consider your inside-outside guy? He's versatile enough to play outside as well as inside, because you said Neighbors, Slayton, and if they're both healthy, they're probably going to be your starters. And then if Austin is your slot guy, and the next level, who's either the backup slot or who's capable of playing inside, outside if you're going with 6 receivers. You have Fields, okay? Probably going to start mostly on the outside until he becomes comfortable where you can move him inside, outside in the NFL, because the game is different than college. So with those other guys, who can play inside and outside. That's the first thing I'm going to look at, because I want that one receiver that's versatile, that, you know what, I can put him inside, and you know what, teams are not going to pick up on, now is that Neighbors? Are you going to say Neighbors is that inside, whether he's a starter or not? He's going, if you,
well, he can, that.
I know he can. What I'm saying is, yeah, you can move him inside. So then that means, okay, maybe he's that guy, but more than likely you don't want to burn him out, especially coming back from an injury. So with those other guys, who gives you the versatility to play inside and out and outside? That's what I would look at in terms of those receivers. And then from there, that last spot, it's going to probably be another boundary type of receiver, just in case, because, you have Neighbors and Slayton for that most part, and then you have Fields developing.
So here's the competition, and I'm gonna kick it back to you. You have Beckham, Juju. Can't forget about Darnell Mooney. Beckham, Juju, Darnell Mooney, Berrios, and then you got the back end guys like Hodgins and Hyatt and
Bo Collins,
and Cambray and all of them.
Yeah.
So I think they're fighting for practice squad spots, but personally, so let's just say if it's between Beckham, Juju, Berrios.
Is Berrios an inside-outside type of receiver?
And Mooney.
And Mooney. So
those are the four guys fighting, I think, for two spots. So let's simplify it like that.
I just gave you. Okay. So the two spots. The first one is, who's your inside-outside guy? Who would you think? Because
out of those cats,
it's probably going to be Mooney first. Unless
I'd say Mooney or Juju. I think they all can play inside out. Who gives you the? I think the key
is probably is with his familiarity with Nagy as the OC. So could he have the heads up? But I mean, could it be Mooney?
I don't think Berrios is an outside guy, so maybe that kind of regulates him out the picture a little bit, unless he can beat out Austin for that punt returner / slot role.
And you said it perfectly. You got, because I'm not even looking. I'm looking at three guys for two spots in a sense. 2 spots. I'm looking at 3 guys for 2 spots.
I think Juju Smith-Schuster. I think honestly, like you said, the familiarity with the system. Maybe he has a little bit of a leg up in that. If you want to say Darnell Mooney, I mean, he was the first guy they bought in. They gave him a contract, even though it's 1 year. He's making more than those other guys. They're all on vet minimums. Darnell Mooney signed for a decent little amount of change, if I'm not mistaken.
And you look at how much is if he has any guaranteed money, and how much
that may put him on the roster. And
if that it does, then you have 2 guys fighting for 1 spot.
Pretty much.
And I don't see Hodgins being a practice squad with the Giants. Bo Collins, maybe. Out of them, I think you can probably find better players, once you go through cuts, to bring them in and put them on the practice squad, if you're going to sign practice squad guys. So, but again, those are the ones that I'm looking at. And, I
think it's between the 2 vets, to be honest with you. I think this is going to be an interesting training camp, because I think when it all boils down to it, this fight for this last roster spot, if they are only going with 6 receivers, they could go 7. We'll see. If they're only going with 6, the fight will be basically is going to be between Odell Beckham Jr. and Juju Smith-Schuster, is what I think.
That's where I'm at.
Be interesting,
for the most part. Especially like you said, if we're going to follow the money, and Mooney, if they want to, give him the best first opportunity. But again, I look at the guaranteed money with Mooney's contract. That's the first thing. Now, if he doesn't have, just because he has more money, if he doesn't have any guaranteed, it's easier to cut him and go with the cheaper guys if they're all equal across the board. And then you get to save money and use that, allocate that somewhere else. So that's where I look at it when I look at these receivers. So you talked about
he only got 1 year, $3 million. His deal is fully guaranteed though.
So if it's fully guaranteed, he's on the
and
roster.
He has incentives that can push the value of the contract up.
He's on the right. He's on. So right now you're looking at Juju and OBJ fighting for the last spot.
Yeah.
If you're going with 6 guys.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Mets, what's good with you, man? Can the Mets just end the season and fire Mendoza already? I'm with you there, man. This Mets team is just enough's enough, man. Like, get this dude out of here and just do what you're gonna do, man. Lost again, 10-5 to the Cubs. They're 5th in a row. 5th loss in a row, that is. It ain't getting no better. That's for sure. 34-45 is the record right now. 50 home runs coughed up in the last 5 games. That is absolutely awful. Good Lord. Jeez. All right, man. Anything else I wanted to touch on tonight? Nah, it was pretty slow. So yeah, we can. Los, is anything else you had, Coach?
Nothing else
to bring up here tonight. So we're gonna get into the coach's segment.
You go first.
I got you. I got my.
Notice I didn't put mine in, so I did that on purpose.
I got my slide ready, and we're gonna get into coach's segment. So since I'm pissed off, I don't even want to. It's all good, man. I'm telling you, the Mets.
Nice logo. I mean,
yeah, that's nice. We got something for you coming up. Coach's segment coming up right now, man. Let's hit it, Pat. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right. So top 5 players that need a chip as in championship in New York, New Jersey, what we call heart of the city. Wanted to throw coaches in there too. So just my list will include coaches. Coach, he might let the coaches off the hook, get it? But I'm not. So we're gonna get into my top 5. Of course, this is coming off the Knicks. We've been talking about it, and New Yorkers ain't gonna stop talking about it. So y'all might as well get used to this. That championship is gonna hold a lot of weight. It's a strong one. It's gonna be for a long time. So it puts a pressure on a lot of the other teams to get the job done. Of course, the Liberty got the job done a couple years ago, so won't none of them be on my list. We'll see about coach. But top 5 players that need a chip in New York. Let's get to number 5.
Number 5.
Mike Sullivan. Y'all know who Mike Sullivan is? Mike Sullivan is the Rangers head coach. Rangers head coach. The Rangers haven't won anything since 94. 1994. Remember, that's the year the Knicks and the Rangers were both in the finals, which is unprecedented in New York. And they both were expected to get the job done. Now, the Rangers did bring it home, but the Knicks did not. Now the Knicks have won, and y'all in the damn position where the Nets at, missing out on the lottery, dropping to the 6th, 7th pick, and firing head coaches left and right, and trading star players like Trocheck, who we talked about earlier. Get it done. Get it done. I could have put Trocheck up here and some of the other players on the Rangers, but the pressure's on this coach. If you're trying to trade some of these players, what's the coach doing? So, Mike, I ain't letting you hockey dudes off the hook either. You're number 5. Let's go to number 4.
Number 4.
Juan Soto. There you go, Mets. Juan Soto. I could have put Mendoza up here, but I honestly think he's going to get fired eventually. I mean, he has to. Juan Soto ain't going no goddamn where, though. And he signed a gazillion-dollar contract with the New York Mets. Pressure's on you, big boy. Pressure is on you, big boy. You got to get it done. The bread says you have to get it done. And he's been hurt in and out the lineup this year. Mets, I know you know what I'm talking about. It's been kind of underwhelming. When he's out there, he's a good player, obviously, but pressure's on Juan Soto, man. Juan Soto, at least get the Mets straight. I mean, damn, we talking about championships, but you gotta think about playoffs. You gotta think about the playoffs first. You gotta get them out the cellar of the NL East. But like I said, he ain't going nowhere, so pressure on you. I'm putting the pressure on you. Juan Soto, number 4. Let's go to number 3.
Number 3.
Julius Randle. Why is Julius Randle on this list? He just got here. No, he got back here after playing for the Knicks and getting traded, and then seeing the player he got traded for, Karl Anthony Towns, win a championship. I had to put a Brooklyn Net up here because you're the second basketball team in New York. The Knicks won. Of course, you got pressure on you to do something, like the little man in the meme. Do something. I'm just do something. Move. Make a move. Julius Randle coming back here. Yeah. Who else I'm gonna put pressure on? I could have put it on Jordy Fernandez. I really want to put it on Sean Marks, but coach said players. and coaches. I left the GM off of it, but he probably should be number one, to be honest with you. But Randall, you're gonna have to take the heat for now. You back in New York, make something happen. You on the Nets now. Get your shit together and help us out. Let's go to number 2.
Number 2.
John motherfucking Harbaugh. Yeah, you goddamn right. John Harbaugh. He just got here too. But goddamn it, these Giants fans have been fiending to be at least decent. And you coming from Baltimore, and you came in here with the expectation that you was going to get this team to the playoffs. You saying this shit, John, that you ain't trying to be no rebuilding team, that you trying to win right now. So, of course, I'm putting the same pressure on you cats. Get it done. Get it done. Could I put the Jets here? Yeah, but we know where the Jets are at. They telling you they just trying to find their way. This cat saying, yo, we trying to punch dudes in the mouth. John Harbaugh. Could I pick a player? Who am I going to pick? Jackson Dart? He's a second-year quarterback. It's on Harbaugh and Joe Shane and John Mara, the big dogs holding the big checks. Let's go to number 1. Y'all should know who this is.
Number 1.
Aaron motherfucking Judge. You're it, buddy. You are the star in the Big Apple. You know, Brunson won a chip, but Aaron Judge has been the biggest star in this city since he got here. And this Yankees team don't have no other expectation but winning a championship. We know what it is. Aaron Judge, I could have put it on the other Aaron, which is Aaron Boone, who I really want to put it on. But Aaron Judge got to get it done too. He had an okay playoffs, but overall not been so great in the playoffs. Hurt again this year, dude. Stay injured. And you making a whole bunch of money too, homeboy. But you play for the bigger team, the team with the high expectations. That's why you number 1 and Juan Soto is number 4. But I'm looking at y'all baseball teams like y'all got to get something done too. It's been 09 since they last won. You know, 09. We in 2026. You know, so you creeping up on a damn near 20-year period. Drought. Expectations is high for the Yankees and the Giants. See, I try to match it with the expectations. You know, and Aaron Judge is definitely there when it comes to expectations. He's an MVP candidate every year, one of the best baseball players in the game. You did get him to the World Series. I give you that. But we got to get over the hump. There's no expectations bigger in this city than with the New York Yankees. And that's my word. And that's all I got for this coaches segment. My top 5 players/coaches, the most pressure to win a chip in New York. Coach, what you think?
Very good. Yeah, I knew Aaron Judge would be number 1 with you. Yeah, I mean, you know, the way you talk about him, you know, I mean, it's just always been so obvious. But yeah, very good, you know, list. You know, I like the way you got the coaches in there, you know, especially when you talked to me about it and asked me, I was like, yeah, go ahead, coaches in, you know. So, I mean, I didn't. I purposely
I know.
didn't. So, but I wanted to focus more on the players. So, but you'll see. But yeah, yours was excellent. I really like yours. Great job.
All right, appreciate it. All right,
Well,
you up? You on deck, bro?
Yeah, and let me preface this by, I'm going to say this. I'm going to give you some very unpopular opinions.
I can't wait to hear this one.
So,
Yeah.
and it's going to, you're going to probably say, "Oh no," that to me. No, oh no, coach, no. So, but right now I just put my number 5 in. So let's go. Starting with number 5.
Number 5.
Andrew Thomas. Yes, Andrew Thomas needs to win a chip. Everyone talks about how he's one of the elite tackles in the league, but he's always hurt. There's always that concern. He's been here. He doesn't get as much heat as other Giants players who has been here in the past or currently on the roster. Now, there's not a lot of Giants you could make that argument for, being the way this team is being constructed. But there is pressure on him to help lead this team to a championship. It's just that simple. So, and with the Giants, the history of the Giants, the Super Bowls, the championships, 8 championships all time. Yes, I'm putting the pressure on Andrew Thomas to help lead this team to a Super Bowl. So there you have it. Andrew Thomas comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4.
Number 4.
Garrett Cole. You are supposed to be the ace of this baseball team. You are paid money to come to this organization. NYG always talks about it, $300 man. You're always getting hurt also. The Yankees have a high standard of winning championships. Yes, it's expected. The all-time record in baseball with championships. You have said you wanted to be here. You relish in this. Well, brother, get the job done. Period. Don't talk about legacy or anything else to me. You just got to get the job done, because there's been a lot of great pitchers in my lifetime, in my 59 years that I've seen with the Yankees. Heck, Jim Abbott seemed to have done, in my opinion, at times a lot better. He didn't do much in the baseball, and this was a one-handed pitcher. So yes, I need him to step up if you want to truly be one of the Yankee greats. So there you have it. Garrett Cole coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3.
Number 3.
Ooh, NYG has him at number 1. I have him at number 3. So, are you guys saying, "Oh no"? Yes, Aaron Judge. NYG articulated it perfectly, man. Aaron Judge, you're another big money man on this franchise. You're the captain. You're the judge. Here comes the judge. But it always seems like in those critical moments during the season, you get hurt. But even worse, during the playoffs, you disappear. You're supposed to be that man. You are supposedly the face of baseball, or considered one of the faces of baseball. and you're not producing, but you got other guys on the West Coast doing their thing. But you haven't stepped up and done what you needed to do with this organization, with this franchise, for this city. So, yes, you need to step up, Aaron Judge. Yes, the pressure is on you. Next, coming in at number 2.
Number 2.
And you could say some of this is my bias, but no. Juan Soto, and here's my reason why he's higher than Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole. You were on the Yankees. You could have taken the easy way out. You could have hid, in a sense, not directly hid, but you would have been behind Aaron Judge. But you wanted to be the man. You took all that money, even more money than Aaron Judge, to go over to the Mets. So you could have been a big contributor. Maybe you might have even helped this team win that championship that we're talking about. But no, you wanted to leave and you wanted to go to the Mets. Oh, and by the way, weren't you born in the Bronx, if I remember correctly? So in a sense, you left your home section to go to the other side of town. Well, and the Mets, right now, with what I'm seeing over there, yes, there's even more. It's scorching hot for you right now, in my opinion, Mr. Soto, Mr. Money Man. You need to step up big time. You need to put this team on your back. We saw somebody in the Knicks put the team, put the city on his back, and carry that organization to the championship. So yes, I'm expecting you to do the same thing. So, Mr. Soto, you really need to step up big time. So, coming in at number 1.
Number 1.
You're going to say, what? Igor Shesterkin. He's the goalie of the Rangers. NYG gave it to the head coach. Well, I'm giving it to the goalie. Because just like the quarterback in football, like a pitcher in baseball, you're supposed to be that man. And when the Rangers won in 94, you had excellent goalie play. And that's another reason why you're in the number 1 spot. Because the Yankees, the Knicks, 53 years. The Giants are from 2011. The Yankees are 2009. The Mets are 86. But you're 94. You're the Rangers. You're supposed to be getting it done. So you need to step up, because I will say this, if the Rangers win, it's electric in this town. It really is. So there you have my number 1. Now I do have some honorable mentions, and it's gonna cause a little but bring up the honorable mentions for me, guys. Yeah, you have Rizal from the Islanders, and the Islanders haven't won since 83. Francisco Lindor, homegrown player that, you know what, people talk highly of him. And Geno Smith. Now you're going to say, why Geno Smith, coach? Well, he was drafted in the 2nd round. The expectation was maybe he could be that quarterback. Now he left and he bounced around. Now when he was with Seattle, he was looking good. Yes, he flamed out. He flamed out with the Raiders, but you came back to the Jets, the team that drafted you. There are some talent. There is some talent here. So yes, he's older. Most don't look at him with the expectation, but I'm putting that on him as far as honorable mention. So there you have it. That's my list. Back to you, my brother.
Yeah. Very, very unpopular. Very unpopular list.
I knew it.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, I can't put the left tackle on there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't put Andrew.
Hey, everyone says he's elite, bro. That's all I keep hearing. He's elite. He's one of the best, or if not the best. And he's protecting the quarterback. He's protecting that quarterback, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to put him on there. But I get it. I understand. Like I said, it's going to be unpopular. And I did that on purpose.
Yeah. But everybody else, I mean, fair point with the goalie, especially because Igor has been there for years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think we had who was it back in the day? Oh man, wasn't Mike Richter, was it?
Richter was in 94? No, was he?
Oh damn, it's slipping my name.
With the Rangers, I know with the Devils, it was whatchamacallit, 31 Brodeur.
Brodeur.
So yeah, so you have Lundqvist. Thank you, Mets.
Lundqvist.
Yeah,
there you go. Henry.
Yeah,
Lundqvist.
so.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So Henry Lundqvist,
so that was a fair point right there. But yeah, I don't know about Andrew Tess a lot, man. Mm-hmm. Maybe the quarterback. I mean, I could.
It was hard for me with
understand
the quarterbacks right now in New York, man. It was just like, do we? I mean, you got whatchamacallit who's young, and that's why I put Gino as an honorable mention because he just came back and look. We don't expect much, but I mean, the quarterback it's a top spot. It's that position. So, like I said, it's like the goalie, it's like the pitcher. I mean, there you have it. So, but I get it with Andrew Thomas, and you know me with the sexy fatties. How I am with them. So
you put a lot of pressure on them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess that's fair. But yeah, I would have, if I was going to, I went with John Harbaugh because you know what I'm saying, he's basically the man that's supposed to come in here and turn things around. But I mean, could you put it on Malik Neighbors?
No.
No? Okay.
No, because Neighbors, remember, he was injured last year. So, and this is only going into his third year. So I can't put because and listen, I did consider Neighbors, and I did consider Garrett Wilson. I did consider Breece Hall. I considered him. And you don't know how long I sat and I weighed this, but I was just like, these guys are also young. So it's not like they've been like, for example, let's just say for argument's sake, Saquon Barkley was still here. He would have been on this list. There's no doubt about it. So I look at, how much time they've been in here. I also look at, that's why the Rangers were, because you know what? The long standing. I mean, I thought about the Islanders, but it's like, I mean, I was just.
Here's one. Odell Beckham Jr.
I thought about him too, but it first and foremost, he has a championship. So it's like,
but we talk about New York, though.
No, yes, we talk about New York.
He came back.
Here's the other
New York and
but here's the thing with Odell. He's on a minimum contract, so the expectation is not some fans, and Odell Beckham Jr. fans, yes, they raise it, but he's on that minimum contract, so it's like, I can't, because I thought about it. Because I was like, yeah, I'm going to put. Then I said, let me put him on the honorable mention. I was like, no, wait a minute. He's on a minimum contract. He might not even make the damn team. So if he doesn't make the team, how can I put that expectation on him? So, but yes, I did consider him strongly because of he started here. And, I mean, it's not like Gino. Gino's coming back to be the starter.
And I think if he makes the team, I think there is going to be pressure on him to at least perform and help this team out. So,
but you've even said it too. If he comes here, and we've all said it, Do we expect them maybe 300? If on a good year, 500 yards?
We do, but the
Yes.
fans and the expectations in the media,
No, I
you
didn't
know, they're
had
gonna
other
talk about
fans.
it a lot. Yeah.
No,
You know
yes,
what I mean?
yes, yes. They're going to talk about it, but I've heard a lot of fans like I'm expecting him 300 to 500 yards tops if he makes it. So, but yes,
Mm.
the pressure is still going to be on him because of his name, and he was drafted here. So, and he does have a certain level of legacy. So, yeah, I'm with you. I thought about it, but I said I'm going the other direction, and I had to hit those baseball players hard. And hockey, I had to hit, that's where I was just like, yo, that's really unpopular because no one's going to think about putting a hockey up there at number one. So,
But the goalie is like the quarterbacks. A lot
Yep.
of pressure on these goalies, man, because I mean, hey, if you letting a bunch of shit hit the net, then
And we've had, like we said, Lundqvist, Brodeur, we've had good
top notch. Yep.
Yeah, we've seen it here. So, the expectation is, you gotta produce, bro. So there you have it. That's my list.
All right, man. Good shit. Good shit. We're gonna get in the coach's corner. So I know you got something cooked up for that. Let's go ahead and hit it.
All right. Appreciate everyone. Glad to be here with another Coach's Corner. This one is going to be a little bit more extensive than the way I've been doing it lately. I hit pretty much everyone. I hit the Liberty. I hit UConn, St. John's, Syracuse, Rutgers. I didn't find anything for Seton Hall and Princeton. Otherwise, I would have included them. So this is going to be a little bit longer. I have a special segment that I want to talk about just briefly. So going to get right into it. And I'm going to start with the Liberty. You know me how I start. The Liberty, they've been struggling, coming into last night's game. They played the Vegas Aces in Vegas. Previous two games against the Mystics and the Sparks, they came away with losses, especially after, going on a nice winning streak. So in those games, New York had leads, but eventually lost the leads, which led to the loss, which led to them losing. And key contributing factors in those losses, Liberty turnovers, costly missed free throws, blown defensive assignments. I can also put some coaching calls. There's some questionable calls and player substitutions. But the biggest thing is on the court with the players. All of that led to Washington and LA coming back with the win, and especially against LA in LA, where you had double digits and you lose at the buzzer. Tuesday night, their fortunes turned as they came away with a big win over the Aces, 87-76. Now, New York was led by Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu, Sabrina has been working her way back, so she really got into a good rhythm. Stewie, she put up 20 points, 15 in the second half, and 6 rebounds. She was also matched up against all WNBA Aja Wilson, and she helped to hold Wilson to 16 points on 7 of 18 shooting. Sabrina's contributions netted her first double-double of the season, 16 points, 10 rebounds. Now, the win helped to stem some of the concerns New York has faced. They still continue to work through the different challenges, the new coaching staff, injuries, inconsistent play. They also lost Satu Sabli in that game, as she was held out for an injury. We'll see what happens with her. Right now, New York is sitting at 11-16, 4th place in the W. As they continue on a West Coast trip Thursday in Seattle. So right now I'm watching Atlanta, who's right in front of New York, and they're getting shellacked by Golden State. So we'll see if New York can bypass them. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the NCAA. This is my special that I wanted to talk to you guys about. They announced yesterday that the Division I cabinet has unanimously voted to approve the age-based eligibility model, where an athlete's 5-year eligibility clock would start upon full-time enrollment at a university or at the beginning of the academic year following their 19th birthday, whichever comes first. The 5-for-5 eligibility model will eliminate traditional red shirts and waivers for extra eligibility aside from special circumstances like pregnancy, military service, or religious missions. Waivers for clock extensions and waivers previously granted for hardships, that's not going to be allowed. So that's a big thing right now in college sports going forward. So it'll affect going forward everything. You know, players going to have 5 years to play. They're going to have 5 years to play five in their program, basically. So that's a big thing. So I'm going to be monitoring that going forward. So, and I'm still getting all the details because it's, you know, there's some things that I'm still trying to process in this whole thing. So next, I'm going to move on to some UConn. The UConn's men's basketball team, they had their alums, Tavis Reed Jr. and Alex Caraban. They were selected in the first round yesterday of the draft. Reed was 26 overall, and he's headed to the San Antonio Spurs by way of a trade with Denver. And Caravan went to the Sacramento Kings via trade with the Cleveland Cavaliers with the 29th overall pick. They become the 25th and 26th first-round picks in program history, all since 1990. They're also the 53rd and 54th Huskies drafted all time, and 10th and 11th in 8 seasons with Danny Hurley at the helm. And so congratulations to them. And in women's basketball for UConn, they're going to be hosting fellow 2026 Final Four participant Texas in a preseason exhibition Monday, October 19th in Connecticut. UConn is all-time 10-1 against Texas. So, you know, but it's a preseason match, so it's going to be a good test. So we'll see what happens going forward with them. So good luck to them. Going to move on to St. John's and start with some men's basketball. Zubi Ejiofor was selected by the Atlanta Hawks with the 23rd pick overall in yesterday's draft. So I know the Knicks were scouting him. They've had him in, and there were talks that the Knicks might draft him. He becomes the 63rd player in St. John's men's basketball history to be chosen in the NBA draft, and the first since the Cleveland Cavaliers selected Sir Dominic Pointer with the 53rd pick in the 2015 draft. The Garland, Texas native is the first Red Storm player to be picked in the first round since Mo Harkless was taken 15th overall by the Sixers in 2012. Now, St. John's men's basketball team added it to its roster with the signing of Spanish wing Gildas Jimenez. He arrives to Queens after helping the CIA Bella Vista Prep in Arizona to the 2026 Chipotle National Championship. He's a 6'6" guard. He brings international experience, previously competing for the European powerhouse club Real Madrid, as well as the Spanish youth national team. Now, St. John's incoming recruiting class of 10 newcomers ranks top 5 in the country for the second year in a row, according to ESPN and 247 Sports. They're highlighted by top 15 transfer portals: Tunde Yesafo from Baylor, Donnie Freeman from Syracuse, along with European League standout Quinn Ellis and Babacar Sane. The Red Storm's 50-man roster will be filled with international flavor as 10 players hail from different countries on 3 separate continents. Jimenez becomes the third incoming freshman, joining Lazar Stojkovic and Theo Edema. So there you have it with St. John's. Moving on to Syracuse. Now, 3 Syracuse defensive players were named to the Phil Steele preseason All ACC defense. Chris Peel on the second team, Chris Diapollonia, third team, and Antoine DeSlores, 14, made the cut. Peel, who has been projected as high as a first-round pick in 2026 mock drafts, despite only heading into his junior season. He started every game at corner last season, opposite one of the ACC's top rookies in Demetrius Samuels Jr., giving Syracuse one of the top cornerback duos in the country heading into this season. Apollonia transferred to Syracuse in January from Toledo, where he was an all-MAC linebacker. He was a third-team All-League honoree after his sophomore season with the Rockets, where he made 68 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, a sack, and 4 pass breakups. DeSlores was a freshman All-American last season by numerous publications, became one of the first true freshmen in program history to lead Syracuse in tackles with 60. Now, in basketball for Syracuse, they'll play Oklahoma for the first time in the annual ACC-SEC Challenge. The Orange and the Sooners will meet Tuesday, December 1st, 2026 in the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman, Oklahoma. Now, the women will also play Oklahoma, but they're going to host them in the SEC-ACC Challenge in a matchup of a pair of squads that reached last year's NCAA tournament. The game will be Thursday, December 3rd at the JMA Wireless Dome for Syracuse. So, and gonna close it out with some Rutgers news. In football, both wide receiver KJ Duff and running back Antoine Raymond represent Rutgers football in the Phil Steele preseason All-American picks in the recently released listing. The duo joins offensive lineman Kwabena Asamoah and linebacker Ty Morris as preseason All Big Ten selections in the publication. Let's see, 14 All-American is wide receiver KJ Duff and running back Antoine Raymond. First team All Big Ten is running back Antoine Raymond. Second team All Big Ten is KJ Duff. Third team All Big Ten is linebacker Ty Morrison. And 14 All Big Ten is Asamoah. Now, in women's basketball, legendary Rutgers women's basketball coach C. Vivian Stringer has been named the recipient of the 2026 Betty F. Janis Lifetime Achievement Award, the Women's Basketball Coaches Association announced. Coach Stringer's impact on the game of basketball is immeasurable, current Rutgers women's basketball head coach Gary Reedus said. She built a legacy that extends far beyond wins and championships, opening doors for generations of student athletes and coaches while setting the standard for excellence, leadership, and integrity. This Lifetime Achievement Award from the WBCA is a fitting recognition of a career that has inspired countless people and changed the game forever. We are proud to celebrate Coach Stringer and all that she has accomplished. So kudos to her. Thank you, Coach Stringer, for everything that you've done for the game of basketball, not just women's, but the game of basketball overall. So truly appreciate what she's done. So that's going to be it for Coach's Corner. I appreciate everybody's time, and I'm going to turn it back over to you, my brother.
Good stuff, Coach. Definitely appreciate that, man. Glad to see the Liberty finally getting back on track. I had expectations for those ladies too over there. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be keeping my eye on.
I'm sorry, our crew got me with that.
Keeping my eye on them.
He said,
yes, I that's what I've been looking at while you was I was paying attention to that. LaMelo Ball is out there for trade, and apparently the Timberwolves and the Raptors are How the hell did you get that up there that quick? The Timberwolves and the Raptors are interested, and hey, if he goes over there with Anthony Edwards, that backcourt. See, everybody getting guards now. Everybody get these want these tall, big guards. You know what I'm saying? So what might happen there? You know what I'm saying? What might happen there? And I think about the Brooklyn Nets, and you just drafted a guard. You drafted 5 guards last year, and then now you got guards coming available in free agency, but there ain't really no big man. So that's what you needed, and you messed up because this was the draft. You should have got your big man in, but you had to take a guard because you had the 6th pick.
Yeah, a little birdie told me about that little nugget. Karama took my thunder a little bit. Had that made up for you guys. The Nets are in on LaMelo as well. That's been reported as well. The Nets are in on LaMelo. A lot of those guards you drafted in a couple of first-round picks, they're being very aggressive with it. But the Timberwolves are the favorite if they do trade LaMelo because they want to go with Concanupple and Brandon Miller. They do decide to move off of LaMelo Ball. More than likely, it's going to be the Timberwolves. I got one more for you guys, man. I'm really enjoying this NBA NYG. Detroit Pistons. Looks like they're going after LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. They're going to try to sign LeBron James as a free agent, and they're going to try to trade for Kawhi Leonard.
Wow. So because these teams know they can't beat the Knicks with their squads that they got right now. And in the West, who you chasing? You chasing San Antonio. And you see what they got in their backcourt. So that's why the Timberwolves like, wait, if we can get Melo and Ant-Man to go up against Harper and Castle over there.
Yeah, LaMelo Ball running that point would, yeah, that would be vicious. They probably have to give up what's the dude's name, McCants or whatever, that wing that's really good on defense. They probably have to give him up and a couple of first-round picks. But I don't think Rudy Gobert will be a part of that deal.
What about Nas Reed?
They can't give up Rudy Gobert or Nas Reed because they just gave Randall to the Nets. Remember that.
Yeah. So they're not going to include them, but it looks like it's going to be that wing, maybe a top bench player come off the cut. Because remember, they just signed Dosunmu back too. And I hate my Bulls got rid of him. He's really good. So if they can have him come off the bench with LaMelo starting, I could get rid of McCants and bring LaMelo over for sure. So that's just a little bit of NBA news for you guys at the end of the show. I know you guys like to bring me in and have a little nuggets out there. So those are 2 little NBA nuggets right there. Be on the lookout for the ABSN to have an NBA show, man. We got Heat Check. Might be able to bring out another NBA show to give you breaking news like this, man. If the Pistons get LeBron and Kawhi Leonard, that can help out. Even though LeBron is old and Kawhi Leonard is always injured.
I don't see LeBron going there, Pat. But I
don't see LeBron, but I do see Kawhi going there.
Possibly.
And if he's healthy, they're gonna be a problem.
Well, it depends on first and foremost, do you still have Duran? Because if you don't have Duran,
just got rid of Stewart.
So
yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, you got rid of Isaiah Stewart, so it's like, you still need something down low to combat not just the Knicks but also Cleveland. because Cleveland got the double bigs.
Yep.
And you're seeing what
And
the
now
other
you got Miami with double bigs with Bam and
bigs.
Giannis.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I want to see what Detroit is going to do.
And now for the Knicks, it does put a little bit of pressure for you to get something done with Mitchell Robinson.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Very much so.
if
They can go double big too with Mitch and Cat, and you got the Cat Diawara.
Diawara, you can also bring back Hawk-Porty. So, the main thing with the Knicks though is because
let me ask one question about the Mitchell Robinson thing. I think the cats that you got on the bench can come in and do what he does. I'm being honest with you.
Hawk-Porty is not.
I don't think they give him
a great offensive rebounder as Mitchell Robinson.
Or defensively, I don't know if they can give you what Mitch. Offensively, they're gonna be. It's a balancing thing. So it's like, what more do you want? Because since you got here's the thing what teams are doing now. You've seen it with Wemby. You want a goon power type forward. You want one of those rough type dudes that can get in somebody's face to protect your center, your superstar. They doing it with Wemby. You know what I'm saying? OKC. They going.
Here's the thing, Pat. No, you don't. Mitchell Robinson is the goon. Because remember, you saw in that Atlanta series where he was trying to go after. Hawk-Porty is not that type of a dude. Hawk-Porty is not. He's not.
Let them develop into that. They haven't had a chance to
develop.
But that's the point. It's a mindset thing to be a goon, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like he can develop skill set. Listen to me. He can develop skill set, right, to be a better defender and things like that. But to be a goon is a mindset, bro. Like you need a dude that really got that type of mindset and type of makeup. This is where kind of the intangibles come in basketball. So Mitchell Robinson, I've been saying it from the jump, the Knicks needed Mitchell Robinson because he is the enforcer. He has the mindset and he has the skill set to back it up. Now you lose something on the offensive end. That's why we're saying keep Diawara and Hawk-Porty and guys like that. They can give you a little bit more offensively. But as far as a defensive enforcer, those guys aren't going to give you what Mitchell Robinson is going to give you.
I'm not saying they're going to get. I'm not saying that they're going to give you everything that Mitchell Robinson brings on the defensive side. I know that Mitchell Robinson, when it comes to offensive rebounding and playing defense, yes, you may lose a little. You may lose a lot. But I think you gain on the offensive side, and now you ain't got to worry about the hacker Mitchell Robinson.
That's fair. That's fair.
You got 2 to 3 bodies that you can bring out there now. You see what I'm saying? Those other guys weren't getting no minutes at all. So who knows?
It would have been nice if they could have got somebody in the draft. Now I'm not trying to cut you. It would have been nice if they could have got somebody like that in this draft. I do not think Diawara and Hawk-Porty are going to be that dude. Can they develop? Yeah, but again, we talking about a player that needs to have an impact. Like that's going to play a huge. That Mitchell Robinson role is huge for this team, especially when Karl-Anthony Towns starts getting in foul trouble.
Here's the thing, though. Now let's not mix up what Diawara gives you. Diawara is more of a wing. He's not like a 5. He's 6'10", but that's why I say he's more like a young Pascal Siakam. He's more of a 3-ish type of a 4 type of a player. So I'm not.
That brings more impact than what Mitchell Robinson can do if he can come
offensively. And offensively, yes, because he can score. No, I'm not. Pat, please understand. That's not what I'm saying. That's not. Here's the thing with Mitchell Robinson, because the thing with Mitchell Robinson, teams worry about his offensive rebounding. You're fighting with him physically. And here's the other thing. You don't realize how big Mitchell Robinson is.
I know how big he is.
Yeah, so huge. Diawara is slender a bit. Now, Hawk-Porty built like him, but he's not as athletic. Now, he gives you more in terms of scoring. He has a better offensive game, and he can hit the free throws. Defensively, he's not going to intimidate, but he's serviceable as a defensive guy. Yes.
Let me ask you this, Coach, and you too, NYG, before we got to get out of here. Does Porty and Diawara, is their defense that much lack compared to Mitchell Robinson, where you cannot trust those guys
No,
in the lineup?
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, because Diawara, I trust defensively.
That's what I'm saying.
He could switch, but see, I'm not going to sit here and say he can guard consistently in the 5. He's more of a wing guy where I can trust him. He can cover the point guard. He can cover the 2. He can cover the 3. If you got a stretch 4, he can cover the stretch 4. But if you got a strong type of a physical 4 consistently.
How many of those in the league, Coach?
I'm looking at the East right now because I have to look at that first. There's 2 teams that I do have to say, honestly, they have that. That's Cleveland and that's Miami right now.
Well, Evan Mobley and Bam and Allen. But Allen's not an offensive force. He's like I guess a better version of Mitchell Robinson, if you ask me.
He's better offensively. And he can block shots. Yes.
And you have to worry about the Heat with the Greek Freak and Bam.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that's going to work with those guys. But Greek Freak is Greek Freak. It don't matter who you got out there. You put Mitchell Robinson out there, he's gonna get the business. So what I'm saying is, if they're not losing you like just a dramatic drop off with defense, but they are giving you way more offense and they're way more of a threat for an offensive player, I might give them a shot. We playing with house money.
Here's the thing. I will say to your argument, because of Dolan and his statement about the apron, and Mitchell Robinson projections can be $15 up to $20 million, which I don't think the Knicks want to pay. Yeah, you're right. They're probably going to let him go, and you go with the other guys.
Yeah, I'm not giving Mitchell Robinson $20 million when I got those young bucks on the bench.
Yeah, so
even though he might be a better player, and he was a pivotal part to that championship team. I'm not.
Exactly.
But his offensive prowess got y'all in trouble a lot, and let's not act like he was locking up Wemby when he was in there. Wemby was giving him work. Karl-Anthony Towns is actually doing a better job against Wemby than Mitchell Robinson was.
True.
So I want to see those young dudes develop, because I'm looking at these dudes. I'm like, damn, this dude can play. But like I said, I'm gonna leave the New York basketball to y'all. But I like what I see with those 3 young big men on the bench. To be honest, with you.
Actually, the Knicks they didn't draft any young guy. The big guy they drafted, they traded to Detroit. So they don't have any depth. So that's the other side too. I got to look at that, where they didn't draft any big guys. So are they setting up to bring back Mitchell?
You have to look at it like this too. It's also about the culture in this locker room, because that was one of the biggest things with the Knicks this year, and I believe that's what got them over the hump. That culture and them being a team. Now, do you want to let a big part of your team go when you're doing all this, like Coach said, this going through all these hoops to try to get money and save money and stay under that apron? You know, are you going not at least try to bring back your big man? I think they should have them all on the roster, because again, you know, it's not like you got to get rid of a Diawara. You just brought him back, and Porty is he a free agent?
I think he's a restricted free agent.
So yeah, you got his rights.
Yeah, you got his rights, and you get with the way that you have the bird rights. So, you know, you can go over with them, and certain ones, because they're second round draft pick. I don't remember. So I forgot who said it. I think CP said it. He's like when they're second rounders, it's something about their money doesn't count. It's like in the NFL, you count like a certain number of players to the cap. So it's I don't know it proficiently, so I just know.
Think about this too before we get out of here. To your point, I agree. You want to see those cats develop, Porty and Diawara. what is the best way? We talk about this in football a lot. What is the best way to let a player develop? By having a veteran in front of him. Now, you got Mitchell Robinson there. You can bring these guys in a little more. Maybe they start to get a little more minutes throughout the season. You can bring them in easier, and then you got to account for injury as well. What if one of those guys go down? Then who do you have? Now you bare bones out there. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely need to at least consider now. You know, we can get into a basketball stream later and look at some free agents and kind of go through some things. Maybe we'll do that on the next Heart of the City episode. But, you know, if you can't get Mitch, I think you need to still bring another center in to help out Cat Towns and be that enforcer and that backup that can give you, because Cat Towns is an offensive center. I could see if he was more of a two-way player. He plays more offensively than now. He can play defense, but you know, he gets his bread on the offensive end. So the reverse of that is you want a guy that's solid on defense. I hear what you're saying about offense, but I want my guy that can come in there and balance that out and be a defensive guy that allow my other big man to do his thing on the offense and not wear down defensively, guarding Wimby's and Greek Freaks and all these other cats. You can let Mitch
definitely agree with that. I agree with
that.
What
I'm saying?
Definitely agree with that.
But
when those cats get injured, you don't have Mitchell Robinson, you're gonna be in a whole heap of trouble, as they said back in the day. So I could agree with that.
Yeah, you want to keep the depth on that team. That's what got them over the hump. That's what allowed them to work through some things when guys were struggling and injured. And, you know, they remember OG missed a game or whatever and things like that. So you have to account for stuff like that as well too. But
all right, I'll fall back.
Good stuff. Nah, good stuff. I like that. I like that you brought that heat, that energy, man. So we're gonna have to do this more often. We'll talk about it when we close out, man. But yeah, you know what time it is? Take us out. That's a wrap. Heart of the City 131. We'll see y'all guys next week.
That is a wrap. This has been Heart of the City 131. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for the Aboriginal Sports Network and these great content creators you see on the screen. Also, if you want to support the Aboriginal Sports Network, hit that big blue join button. $2.99, man. That helps us to go to major events like the Super Bowl, the Senior Bowl, whatever bowl you want to see is at. Hey, you might even see us at the NBA Summer League. So thank you guys for watching. This has been Heart of the City with your guys, Coach and NYG. See y'all on the next one, man, on 132. This is Heart of the City. Peace.